Nilay, I'm curious to know your thoughts. We've talked about sort of the receptive committee, but it remains to be seen what they can agree on, and certainly her recommendation of pushing Section 230 to address some of these ranking-based algos. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I want to agree with all of you that Frances Haugen is utterly compelling witness for this hearing. I think this is a watershed hearing for Facebook. She's confident. She's in command. Importantly, she's clear when she doesn't know the answer to a question. She's not overstepping her expertise, and I think that is a powerful move here. Her idea about amending 230 so that Facebook does not have an exemption for algorithmic decisions because they're in control of it is powerful. It already has take up on the Hill. I think that's great. More importantly, she said Facebook is presenting us with false choices. We need to break out of our regulatory frameworks and get away from Facebook's focus on 230 and privacy, because Facebook knows it can win there. I think if anything comes out of this, it's Facebook losing control of the frame of the debate and the narrative, which they have controlled for a long time now. Here you have a compelling Facebook insider with receipts that is saying, look, all of the criticisms that people have leveled against Facebook for years are real, and Facebook's hemming and hawing about trade-offs, about privacy, about free speech are in Facebook's control. I think that is the takeaway from this hearing. There's more hearing to come, which has got to suck for Facebook. But here, I think you have the beginning of a 230 change that lawmakers are already interested in, and permission to go beyond that in a way that has not really existed before.
And Nilay, we've been watching to see what Facebook's response is to the hearing. And Andy Stone, communications at Facebook, did tweet at the top of the hour, just pointing out the fact that Frances Haugen did not work on child safety or Instagram or research these issues and has no direct knowledge of the topic from her work at Facebook. To what degree can she be discredited? She's worked for 4 different types of social networks.
Yeah, look, Facebook has to walk a fine line here. They're going to try to discredit her in various ways. She has the support of lawmakers. She largely has the support of the media. I'm assuming after today's hearing, she'll have the support of the public. She's given a command performance. Facebook's answer is to show us the data. If anything is going to discredit this testimony, it is the actual data. It is allowing researchers to see whether Facebook's claims about its effects on the world are true or not. Haugen has a lot of Facebook data. She's sharing it with the world and saying, look at what Facebook is doing. And Facebook is saying, that data doesn't show what you say it does.
And let me just say, Facebook coming out against Frances Haugen in that way really strikes me as disingenuous, makes me trust the company less. She never said she was an expert on that. She just cited the data from Facebook's own research. So, I mean, they're digging themselves a hole here, Julia.
Well, yeah, I think they're going to have to be very careful about how they approach her as an expert, and the fact that she was so methodical about the way she collected information and brought it out of the company, knowing that she was going to be criticized and she would have no chance really affecting any change unless she had a meaningful amount of data. What I think is so interesting is that she's not asking for anything more than transparency. She is urging Facebook to share its internal research, share its internal data, so that data can be used to help better regulate the company. She's just saying that Facebook cannot regulate itself. It is incapable of that, and what they've seen over the past several years has proven that out. But what I'm wondering right now, Nilay, if you have any thoughts of this, we've both covered this company so closely, is what is Facebook thinking right now? What do they think they have to do to address this firestorm of bipartisan criticism of everything about how they're prioritizing profits over safety?
My sense of where the company is at is they kind of feel like they've lived through this before and they'll live through it again. And the real thing that Facebook cares about is whether it can recruit well, whether advertisers keep showing up, and whether they can keep turning out the quarterly performances they've been turning out. They're in the middle of a perfect storm. Apple's changes in iOS 14 and 15 have led them to release guidance saying next quarter's advertising revenues will be lower. They are under fire on Capitol Hill. They are under fire in various courtrooms around the country. There are U.S. attorneys general. There's the FTC complaint that they're trying to get thrown out, that's saying Facebook should be broken up. There's a perfect storm of activity around Facebook right now. that will keep them from hiring some of the best people, that will keep them from retaining some of the best people. That might be a long-term problem for them, but that's the one they have to focus on while they believe that they've weathered it before and they'll weather it again. I am not sure that they will weather this one without any firm regulation. You heard Senator Markey say, we're coming for you. You're either on our team or you're not.
Right.
I think that is as strong as it gets with the bipartisan consensus we're hearing today.